NDP Leader Adrian Dix has paid the city a visit as the campaigning swings into full gear. The first public order of the day involved a stop at Exploration Place with an election promise in hand.
Using Exploration Place as the backdrop, NDP leader Adrian Dix announced plans to put Science World back on the road if he's the province's premier after May. The BC PALS program took Science World out of Vancouver.
In 150 communities, including many students in Prince George. I think 8 schools in Prince George, the Prince George Schools District took part in the program. And so what we're saying is, and so all of this for a relatively small investment with a huge benefit for young people and for the learning of science and technology in the province.
Dix says the program would require $1 million a year, a paltry amount of money taking into account the long-term benefits of education. But $1 million is $1 million for a cash-strapped government.
Mr. Dix needs to understand how complex our economic environment is right now. The PALS program is something that we certainly supported over the years, and it provided good results. But we also need to set priorities if we're going to balance our budget. Mr. Dix has indicated that he intends to fund it out of an advertising budget which next year is just $8 million.
Bell says the program was introduced during the Year of Science, and Dix needs to be a little more informed of his budget.
In fact, we had one such visit in Prince George, and it was well worth the time. There's ways that Science World can raise funds outside of just government services, and we're certainly encouraging them to do that. The reality is people can make promises, but they need to tell us how they're going to fund them. Otherwise, it's going to be a question of increasing taxes or increasing debt, neither of which I'm supportive of.
Dix counters there will be the need for 147,000 jobs in science and technology alone over the next decade, and now isn't the time to be cutting education at any level.
Prince George is vital. It's vital to the province. The development of post-secondary and especially skills training here is crucial to the economic future of this region, to young people in this region. I've come to Prince George many times, and I'll be coming to Prince George many times. And so our plan was to come here this week.
The NDP maintains of the 50 occupations in BC facing skills shortages in the coming years, the majority will require a level of math and science proficiency. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
Student teachers from across Western Canada are visiting Prince George. They're here for a conference learning about new teaching methods and educational approaches.
Close to 200 aspiring teachers are at UNBC for the Westcast Conference. Student teachers are learning about new teaching methods and other collaborative approaches to education. And for many of the participants, they have the opportunity to meet others in their field from other parts of Canada and see their approach to education.
Just the interaction with people so far, chatting with other teacher candidates, and there are some teachers at the university level here, so it's kind of there's a lot of different levels of education going on, so it's good interactions so far.
As well, from teaching, you can see a lot of new styles and ideas that are at the conference and maybe incorporate that into what I'll be doing in my own classroom. And you can even meet some other teachers or possible job opportunities. We had some superintendents, Dr. Pepper, and not Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pepper, and lots of people to meet. So.
Over the past few years, teaching jobs have been tough to find. But student teachers at the conference feel jobs are out there, but you may just have to look harder.
I think they're actually really good. There's a lot of jobs. They might not be what people envision when they envision a teaching career, but there's a lot of ways to get your foot in the door, and the population in the elementary sector is going up, and we're reaching a peak time for retirements as well.
It depends on the subject. So I'm in sciences, biology focused, and you look at my cohort, there's only 2 of us now for sciences, so I think there'll be a lot of job opportunity. For Englishes and socials, it's a little more full. There's a lot of people wanting to go into those areas, so they might have to fight a little more.
A professor from the teaching program concurs.
So in BC, we're looking at much more growth in the student population in about the next 15 years. So it's quite promising. So in the projections of student numbers coming into the system, we're slowly going back up into a rise. So in about 15 years, we will need more teachers.
So despite the preconception that jobs are hard to find, education students at UNBC are looking towards a bright future ahead. Zamir Karim, CKPG News.